D-Lo 404 Boxing. Shout out to the Ldbc. Shout out to my subs. Shout out to my old corner, Trey X, and the whole block fam. So we watched Tyson Fury fight Schwarz, Tom Schwarz, last night on ESPN Plus. Fury got a stoppage in the second round. He dropped him, and then basically kept throwing punches when he got him in the corner until the ref stopped it. Good showing for Fury. Tom Schwarz was who we thought he was. You know, just a guy brought in to make Fury look good. The comparisons to, I think it was by Max Kellerman, who said Schwarz was brought in to make Fury look good, just like Dominic Breazeale was brought in to make Wilder look good, are way off base. But Dominic Breazeale was coming off of 3 consecutive KO victories against decent opposition. Guys we've heard of, guys who have a reputation as being a tough out. Dominic Breazeale himself has a reputation as being a tough out. And he was Deontay Wilder's mandatory. He was not some guy that Wilder handpicked to look good on Showtime. In fact, Dominic Breazeale was a guy that Wilder particularly was going out of his way not to fight. You know, he really didn't want to fight the guy. Not because he was threatened by him, but because he had better fights that he wanted to make. In fact, Fury himself was one of those fights. Deontay Wilder was trying to get a rematch with Tyson Fury. The fight was all but signed, sealed, and delivered. And Fury decided that he didn't want that fight. And he went over to ESPN, joined Top Rank Stable, and essentially he fought Tom Schwarz, who, while coming in as undefeated, was a guy who had beat no one of substance. No one that anyone considers to be even a decent fighter. You know, it's not just about what your record is on paper. It's about the opposition that you fought. You know, these same guys who criticized Deontay Wilder when he was sitting at like 35-0 for his level of opposition, mind you, he KO'd every last one of them, are the same ones who try to give Tom Schwarz some kind of credibility for coming in at, I think it was 26-0 or something like that. Not really sure. Don't really care. But whatever his undefeated record was. Well, the reality is that the guys that Wilder beat, we knew who those guys were. Some of those guys were credible opponents who had some decent wins under their belt. You know, Schwarz is just a guy, a domestic level German fighter who had built up his record fighting domestic opposition over there. And we knew him fighting Fury was a giant step up. If you want to look at the top 3 heavyweights who've been considered the top 3 for the last couple of years, you got Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and then it was Anthony Joshua. Not in any particular order. Anthony Joshua was fighting Big Baby Miller. We all knew Big Baby Miller had not fought anyone, really hadn't had a big step up fight. AJ was clearly the best person he would have ever fought. Miller popped dirty and popped Andy Ruiz. Ruiz was a former title contender who basically fought and lost a razor-thin decision to Joseph Parker. Well, a lot of people thought that Joseph Parker actually lost that fight and Andy Ruiz should have won the belt. But either way, it was a very close fight. And he had pretty much been shelved up until that point until he beat Alexander, what was the guy? Was it Demirchenko? I may be wrong. I'm sorry. I get these out. Always so many Alexanders in boxing. I get them mixed up. But anyway, he had stopped the guy back in April, and then he was going into the Joshua fight. Very short notice, quick turnaround from another fight. But he was considered a live dog by many. Tom Schwarz, no one really knew the guy. Dominic Breazeale, I've already touched on. He was a legitimate contender. And rightfully so, sitting as the mandatory for Deontay Wilder's WBC strap. So as I just laid it out, between the three considered top guys at the time, Tyson Fury was the one with the softest touch. But Tyson Fury was also the only one coming into his next fight after having been pretty much KO'd and concussed in his previous fight. Even though he got up and finished the fight on his feet, he was unconscious at some point in that fight, in that 12th round. So, rightfully so, he decided to take a soft touch, instead of going back into that Deontay Wilder fight. If he and his team didn't feel like that was the best move for them, then they did what they should have done, is take soft touches. But that said, let's not act like Tyson Fury just, beat a prime Vitaly Klitschko or Vladimir Klitschko or someone. Let's not act like he just beat Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or even a Dillian White or Luis Ortiz or even a Kubrat Pulev. I mean, let's not act as if Tom Schwarz is some upper echelon guy that anyone knew about. He was brought in as cannon fodder. He was brought in to make Tyson Fury look good. Mission accomplished. He went in there and essentially folded once he started getting hit in the mouth, because they knew that was the level of guy that he was. He was the type of guy who did not respond well under adversity and in the face of fire. There are fights of his on YouTube, highlights of those fights that show exactly what I'm saying. Even though he won those fights, you'll see that when the going gets tough, he doesn't know what to do. So, I said all of that to say this. Tyson Fury did what he was supposed to do. Good that he wasn't upset in a monumental upset. But this win over Tom Schwarz tells me absolutely nothing, and I don't know who else who may feel the opposite, but to me it tells me absolutely nothing about where Tyson Fury is in terms of rebounding from that fight with Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury has to fight someone with a pulse, someone who's a real threat to him. And if he's smart, he'll do so before he gets back in the ring with Deontay Wilder, because another fight like Tom Schwarz may help his confidence as far as him feeling like he's fight ready, but it does nothing for him in terms of telling him if he's Deontay Wilder fight ready. And maybe no one can do that for him, but he needs to step closer in that direction. But if Fury's plan is to keep, taking soft touches and getting checks from ESPN, then hey, he can fight whoever he wants to fight, and old media and his fans are gonna big up him like he just shook up the world. But all of this Ali comparison and all that stuff, it's not only ridiculous, it's blasphemous. Tyson Fury is a good fighter in and of himself. The Ali comparisons are way off base, and all they do is hurt his credibility, and it hurts the fans who are big up in Tyson Fury. It hurts their credibility. But anyway, I've talked about this long enough. This Ldbc boxing. Once again, shout out to my subscribers. Anyone has subbed to the channel, I said please subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.